What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Celios Network. Today we're taking a look at an early draft of mine for a Mew VMAX Genesect V Toxtricity Fusion Strike deck list. Fusion Strike is the next set coming out in North America on November 12th, and the Fusion Strike battle style is a new emblem and a new kind of Pokemon card you're going to be seeing in this set. And this deck is built all around Fusion Strike cards. So we will take a look at the translations if you do not already know what these cards do, and look at this early draft of mine. I have not tested this deck yet, but we will take a look at this list that I plan on trying out a little bit with proxies in real life, and then more so when the set comes out online. Before we get into that, shout out to my sponsors, PotownStore.com, the best place to get ptcgo codes, and be sure to use code CELIO for 5% off. PokemonCard.io, where you can find all of my standard format deck lists, and CardTrooperGames.com. You can use code CELIO over there for 5% off on your orders. You can get all the links to all of those places in the description down below, and be sure to subscribe to this channel for daily Pokemon TCG content, and leave a like and a comment if you do enjoy this video. So let's look at the main cards. Mew VMAX, like I said, is a fusion style card, and it has two attacks, really only one of which we kind of care about here. Cross Fusion. Choose one of your benched fusion Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack, and that costs colorless, which means we can use things like Capture Energy in this deck pretty easily to pay for the cost of our main attack, Cross Fusion. Now, Max Miracle does matter a tiny bit. For Psychic, it does 130, and it's not affected by effects on your opponent's active Pokemon, so Max Miracle can swing into something like Zamazenta or Decidueye and kind of get through that wall ability that those annoying kind of Pokemon have. But Cross Fusion is going to be our main attack, copying the strong attacks of our benched fusion Pokemon. And also notably, Mew has 310 HP. It is Psychic type, resistant to fighting, which is nice, weak to dark, which might be a little bit of an issue since Umbreon VMAX is a very strong card, and Gengar VMAX comes out in this set. And Mew does have free retreat, which is a nice plus. Let's also take a look at Genesect V, which will be a main card of Fusion Strike decks, because of its amazing ability and its strong attack. So Genesect V has the ability Fusion System. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have as many cards in hand as you have fusion Pokemon in play. And you can use this multiple times if you have multiple Genesect. So you can use Fusion System number 1 from Genesect number 1. And if you have a second Genesect bench, you can use that one's ability as well, and so on. So we're only playing Fusion Strike Pokemon in this deck because we want to have a full bench of Fusion Strike Pokemon and continuously use Fusion System to draw cards. Because we're worried about Path to the Peak shutting this ability off, we are going to play a full 4 count of our Stadium of Choice, which is going to be Old Cemetery in this deck list. Techno Buster is one of the main attacks of the deck, which we are technically copying with our other main attack of the deck, which is Mew VMAX's attack. It's going to copy Techno Buster. Techno Buster for Metal Colorless does 210 and says that this Pokemon can't attack next turn. That's not a problem because we're going to copy this with Mew VMAX, and Mew VMAX has free retreat, and Mew VMAX can use this attack, technically copy this attack for just 2 energy with Mew VMAX's attack. While we're here, we'll check out some of the Fusion Strike supporters. Elises Radiance just gets to search your deck for up to, or you choose up to 2 of your fusion Pokemon in play, and then search your deck for a Fusion Energy card and attach it to each of those Pokemon. Chili, Salon, and Cress searches your deck for 3 fusion Pokemon. Power Tablets say that this turn your fusion Pokemon's attacks do 30 more to the defending Pokemon, and these are item cards, so you can play 1 down, you can play them all down. And Fusion Energy counts as a Rainbow Energy on your fusion Pokemon, and that Pokemon cannot be affected by abilities from your opponent's Pokemon. Meloetta has the Melodious Echo attack, which is another one we can copy from you, or even just use Meloetta itself. It does 70 for each Fusion Energy card attached to your Pokemon in play, so Elises Radiance can help us boost the damage of this out of nowhere, kind of. And let's see if the other cards are within reach here. Yeah, so Toxtricity is another card in our deck. It has the ability Max Downer. If all of your Pokemon in play are fusion Pokemon, each of your opponent's VMAX Pokemon's max HP becomes 30 less. I think this card is so flippin' cool. I was so happy when I read this card because it's really unique. So let's talk about this. So if all of our Pokemon in play are fusion, which they always will be because we only play fusion Pokemon in our deck, your opponent's VMAX Pokemon have 30 less HP. If you have 2 Toxtricity in play, your opponent's VMAX Pokemon will now have 60 less HP. So let's take a typical HP Pokemon, a typical HP of a VMAX Pokemon like Leafeon. Leafeon VMAX has 320 HP. We'll say 320 HP Pokemon comes down. Actually, does Leafeon have 310 or 320? Let's just say 320 HP being around the average. Bring that down to 290 with the first max downer, down to 260 with the second max downer. And then that means that a Mew VMAX that copies Genesect V's attack, Techno Buster, and then uses 2 power tablets that turn to do plus 60 damage can one-shot a VMAX Pokemon, which I think is really, really awesome. It also means if you copy Latias's Dyna Barrier, which we have in this deck, that does 70, and then next turn prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from Pokemon VMAX, and then on the following turn use Techno Buster for 210, and this is without any power tablets being used, that'll be 280 over the course of 2 turns, and the double max downer will bring it down into knockout range there. So I'm really excited about this Toxtricity. I think it's such a cool kind of unique ability that we don't have anything like in the current game right now. So I'm really excited to try this one out. And let's see, as we go, I'll talk about other cards if we need to, but let's take a look at the deck list now. So I have a 4-3 line of Mew VMAX. Mew VMAX is going to be our main attacker. We're never going to need more than 2 minimum because well, we're never going to actually be going through 2 Mew VMAXs because if 2 get knocked out, we lost the game. But of course, 1 can get discarded, or we can even have 3 on the board to let 1 take a hit and then retreat into the 3rd healthy one. But I feel pretty safe not going the full 4-4 count, especially since I'm playing 3 Great Ball and 3 Evolution Incense in here, and I did want to make room for other things. But maybe, you know, with playing this kind of aggressive Peony engine, which we will get to, maybe 4-4 will be the way to go. But I wanted to make sure I fit in the 4th Genesect V, since Genesect is our draw engine, and typically you want to make sure you max out your consistency. So yeah, 4-3 Mew, and then we've got 4 Genesect V because that's our draw engine. I've got 3-3 Toxtricity going on here because I do want to be able to set up 2 Toxtricity VMAX. I'm sorry, 2 Toxtricity against a lot of VMAXs, and I wouldn't feel like 2-2 would get that done. Either it's going to be hard to get to it, or you have to discard a piece, or a piece is prized. So 3-3 Toxtricity in this early draft of the deck, and then other attackers include the Latios and the Meloetta. I don't have the Oricorio that reduces damage done to our Fusion Strike Pokemon. I do have that in some of my other Mew VMAX list that I've drafted up, and 4 other lists that I've been drafting up. You can check out the Discord. That link is in the description down below. We have a lot of great discussion, a lot of community members asking questions, answering questions, sharing deck ideas, trading cards, etc. So be sure to join the Discord. So that's it for the Pokemon. I think you kind of get the idea of why everything's here the way it is from when we were talking about what the cards actually do. Now, Peony is a great card to go with Genesect, and also this new card, VIP Battle Pass, which you'll see on the bottom left that I'm playing 1 of. The VIP Battle Pass says you can only play this on your first turn. It is an item card, and you search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon and bench them. Now, this is typically going to be really bad because it's only playable on your first turn, but going second and you play Peony, we're playing 4 Peony, we can just dump our hand and get VIP Battle Pass and maybe like a Fog Crystal, and we can bench 2 Genesect with VIP Battle Pass and Fog Crystal for a Mew V, and then we have 2 Genesect V abilities to use right off the bat, maybe even more depending if we started with one or we get more off of those cards that we draw. And Peony can also grab the old Cemetery to bump a Path to the Peak if we need that. It can grab double Power Tablet. In other versions of the list, you can use the new item card that allows you to use a Guzma style effect that gusts up. Let's see if I can't find them. I'm not sure if they're called custom something. Choose one of... I'm forgetting what they're called, but they work like custom catchers. So let's see if we cannot find them. They might be on a next page or something. I do know it's a trainer card, but I'm not sure exactly where it is or what it's called in the mess of all of this. But in other builds, you can choose to use this custom catcher like card that I'm talking about. Cross switcher. Here we go. You must play 2 of these at the same time and switch one of your opponent's bench with their active, and then you switch your active with one of your bench. So that's an option with Peony, but because I'm using a lot of deck space here for the Toxtricity line, that's not going to fit into here, and I am just playing boss. I'm playing the 2 Elises and the 1 Cress, Chili, and Celia, I think. Something like that, CC and C. The 1 Fog Crystal I think is good because it can search out Mew V or Psychic Energy or even the Meloetta. Capture Energy is great because we're focusing on using Mew VMAX's attack that costs 2 colorless, so Capture Energy is great. I couldn't find the perfect stadium for this deck, but we went with Old Cemetery. Whenever any player attaches an energy from their hand to one of their non-psychic Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. So that also helps with the damage that we're doing, right? Because Max Downer reduces the VMAX's HP. If Old Cemetery's out and they're attaching to it, that's letting them take damage. Then we have Power Tablet, and then we're swinging with a pretty strong attack with a base of 210, and also our walling attack of 70, and sometimes we can even max out 280 with Meloetta's attack if we have all 4 Fusion Strike energy on the board. So this is my early draft of Mew VMAX Genesect with the Toxtricity added, because I do think Toxtricity is very cool. Maybe just a more linear Mew VMAX Genesect deck will be the way to play it, but this is one that I'm very excited to test out, so I wanted to share it with you all. Let me know what you're excited about for Fusion Strike. Remember, it does come out on November 12th. We are still waiting for news on Pokemon TCG Live, but hopefully we'll have that soon. And be sure to check out my sponsors, PoTownStore.com for all of your ptcgo needs, Card Trooper Games for physical card product, and PokemonCard.io for all of my deck lists. The links are in the description down below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for daily Pokemon TCG content. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.